Hi, this is James Cook of the University of Maine at Augusta, and today we're going to talk about how to use Google Sites at sites.google.com in order to create a web page, which is really nothing more than a way of organizing information. Now, to get started, we're going to access Google Sites by going to my.uma.edu, and then after we've logged in, we'll type in sites.google.com. You may have to enter a few passwords here and there. Your experience may be slightly different, but eventually you'll get to a web page like this that has a red Create button on the left. Let's click it, and we'll create a new website. Now, I could type in example site, and you'll notice that below it's going to show me the actual public URL, the web page name that you would type in any old browser. If I hit the red Create button, it's going to try to create that, and now it tells me that the location is already used by another site, which means basically somebody else has used that name. So I can go right back to a box that says name your site, and I'll just add in the words for video, which is what this is. I'll try creating it again, and you'll notice there's a little bit of a delay while it processes this, but it won't be too long. And here we are. You'll notice this is a very simple web page right now. It has the title, Example Site for Video. It has a Maine Public University image for the University of Maine system, but I'm going to click on a pencil icon on the upper right, which loads an editor. And all it does, you'll notice, is it gives me a few boxes to type in, and those look like word processing pages. I can just write in words. I can also insert items using the toolbar that's up above. That includes bold, italics, underline, and font size, and all sorts of things like that. So I'm going to type in the title of my home page, which is the initial page, the page you always start with, and I'm going to write some home page text. You could literally just write a web page that is nothing but text. But of course, you can do more than that too. For instance, you could insert a bulleted list, either with numbers or with dots, a bulleted list, and that could be containing all sorts of items. Item 1, Item 2, Item 3. You notice it automatically adds them, and if I want to get out of the list, I just click off that button to toggle out, just like you would do in a word processor. If I wanted to insert a link to a website, I would click the link icon, and then now I could enter that web page. And I notice here that as I'm typing this, I really should be selecting the option on the left that says web address. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go select that option, web address there, and it will give me a link to enter, and I can also enter some text to display. Text like, this is my introduction to sociology web page. And when I click OK on the bottom, after selecting perhaps to open this in a new window, look, there's my link. It's that simple. I can insert all sorts of links in all sorts of places. You'll also notice I can, using the insert command, I can insert a large number of items, including an image, which is what we're going to focus on here. So I'll click Insert, Image, and then it will allow me to upload an image directly from my computer. So I'll click that Upload Images button, and then I will select a particular option. I'm just going to pick an image from my Introduction to Sociology class. Maybe I'll look for something that's nice and that has networks in it. Blau group size. This is one of our social facts from the beginning of the semester, in which we have a minority of reds and a majority of blues, and we have an alt text field, which is the text that should be read to someone who has a visual processing problem, maybe that they're blind or have other troubles. So I'm typing in some text here describing the image, and then I'll hit OK. And look, there it is in my web page. What could be simpler? I could continue on and right below there, I could insert all other sorts of things. I could insert a calendar, a chart, a file from Google Drive, so a Google Drive document, a Google Drive spreadsheet. I could insert, if I have a Google Plus account, all sorts of photos. I could even insert a Google Hangout. There are a lot of possibilities here, but if I just go up to the upper right and I hit save, I'll have a very straightforward website. You can do this too. All you really need to do is add your own content. One other feature that's important is that you can create more than one web page for your website. And as you create these pages, so here's an example, I'll call it subpage for example site. After I create the name of the page, I can select a location. Do I want to put it at the top level of a menu? That is, have it be a main page, or do I want it to be a sub-page of another page? I think I'm going to make it a sub-page of the home page. Now, when I do that, you'll notice that now on the left, I have a menu, and I can click around. I can click back to the home page, I can click to the sub-page, and I can enter information for the page just as I did for my first home page. You can create as many of these pages as you want, and you can give them whatever kind of menu structure you like just by adding main pages and sub pages. Pretty straightforward, huh? Now it's a chance for you to try this yourself. You can finally, when you're ready, you can think about sharing options. So sometimes you want to have a web page be private. Sometimes you want it to be public. So you can choose here who has access. And look, there's a button to change that. So you can change who you give access to. Right now, these examples are only accessible to people in the University of Maine system. You can make it more public, or you can even make it less public than that. And that's nice sometimes when you're working on a project and you don't want people to see it in action.